my name is Amelia Armogan, and the name of my project is Maze Runner. So I start off by doing a welcome message, and basically it'll then ask the player to type 1 to see the rules, which will show these. But if they don't want to see it, you can type any other number, and it'll just skip it and continue. And it will move on to the character color options. It will show a menu basically of all the options, 1, 2, or 3, to get a certain product out of it. If they choose a number that's outside of that, it will show an invalid choice. Please try again, and it will keep asking until the player inputs a valid option. Then it will do the same thing for the character shape option, and it will show a menu, etc., etc. Same operation. If it's not 1, 2, or 3, invalid choice, and it will keep asking until it is a valid choice. Wall color operation, same thing as the other past two. Menu, if it's not 1, 2, or 3, invalid, and it will keep asking until it's a valid option. So after that, it will move on to designing your game board, and you will start it with a white background, and the current zone that the player will be in is 1, and it will always be zone 1. So where the player is will be white, and it will be lit up. So it will be white, and all the other zones will be dark, will be black. So off of that, there will be no access. So I put access off, and I pressed hold on because I wanted to carry all the information of what the player chose for the colors, for the wall characters, etc. So now this is basically the resting positions of the block or the circle, whatever the character that they the shape of the character that they chose. So if it's a circle, square, or diamond, these are the resting positions when it moves around each zone. So for zone 1 X is 1, zone 1 Y equals 5, and so forth all the way to zone 9. Now, drawing the NPC based on the chosen shape, this basically tells the code if they chose circle, how to make the circle, if they chose square, how to make the square, how to make the diamond, etc. So to make sure the key is in a random spot, I did key location equals Randy9. It will choose out of the 9 spots to place the key, except for zone 1. And if it keeps getting zone 1, it will keep going until it chooses anything other than zone 1. So then right here are the coordinates on which zone is chosen, and I have them all listed here. So for the game purposes, so it knows when to stop and to continue, I have has key equals false for when the player does not have the star, and when they do and they've fully went back to zone 1, it will show game over equals 1. So it will know whether or not the game should run or stop. So while the game is 0, like I said, it will continue, and there are certain rules. Zone 1, you can't move north, or you can't, go to the left. So if there's if the player inputs an invalid direction, it will say allowed move equals 0, and it will keep asking the player to input a number that will be valid for the operation. So if it will do invalid input, try again. And then it will be allowed move equals 1 if it is correct and applies with the code. So these are just basically the zones where the directions it cannot go for the character. So here, if the player goes the wrong way, it will display this, you cannot move that way, and it will keep asking the player to input another number. So basically, they use 1, 2, 3, or 4 to decide where the direction is going of the actual NPC, and well, my character name is NPC, but where the player is going. So 1 will be north. So if they put 1, they'll know that the player is moving north, etc. So basically, these are now the rest points. So as the player is moving through the game, there are certain places where the shape stops. And these are basically listing where the rest points are for when the player moves from block to block, or zone to zone, I should say. So here, basically, this is when the character is going up, down, or east or west, I should say. And for the animations part, so I did it by frames, and it'll be 20 frames so that the it will look like it's gliding through rather than it being patchy. And for every wall, I basically had it fill certain locations so that the player will know what specific zone they are in. So each one of them has its own coordinates for that. Not coordinates, but basically where the wall will be filled for each zone. So this will basically show if the key, where the player is, if the key is there, the key will show. If it's not, it won't show. This is basically saying that the the player will keep moving throughout the game, through the frames, and as it's moving, it's creating the shape. So if they chose a diamond, it will know to still withhold that diamond as it moves, or the circle, or the square. And as it moves from, as it exits and enters, when it exits, it changes from the light being on, which is like white. It will go from white to black, and the zone that it's entering, it would go from black to white. So drawing the new zone walls, once again, will be the same thing, where certain coordinate parts of the zone will be filled, and it will basically be able to identify where the player is. So if the player enters a room and the key is present, it will show, and if it's not, then it won't. And like I said before, and these past few times, it's basically the same thing, but the opposite. So as it's exiting, it will show the frame, and that way it looks like a smooth transition into the next zone that it will be going into. So like I just said, if the key is there, it will be shown. If not, it won't. And like I said before, as the NPC, the player is moving, it will keep moving into its resting point. So as the player is moving, the game will check to see if the key has been collected, and if it is, it will display, "You found the key, return to zone 1." So has key equals true. So now the player hasn't won the game, but it has found the key. So now it will update the player position in the zone. And once it's done that, it will start the move count. And once the player has returned back to zone 1, it will say has key in current zone equals 1. Game over equals 1. Therefore, the game is over. And once the game is over, it will print out, "You won the game," and etc. moves. Congratulations. And once it's successfully gone back to zone 1, it will flash different colors through the 2x9, and it will repeat it 3 times. And once it's done, it will be the completion of the game. So I'm going to go ahead and run it so you guys can see. Let's do 1, let's do 2, and 1, and let's do 1. The figure shows. Let's move. Stop. Oh, sorry. Let me just do it so you guys can see. Okay, and let's do 3. Okay, not there. Let's do 3 again. And let's move south. Still no, oh, there's the key. Now, you have found the key. Return to zone 1. So now I'll move west again, and then I'll move north, north one more time. And now it has flashed the different colors 3 times. And that is the completion of the game, with it saying you have won the game in 8 moves. Congratulations.